What's up, guys? It's Wombat, and we're actually gonna be here with the first spicy Beyblade Burst combo in this series. Now, there's been a few in the past, but most of them are kind of unusable in the metagame today. So this is gonna be the first one that's actually kind of usable. So first of all, I'd like to apologize for the lighting because I'm filming this at night before I go back to school. And then second of all, there's a few people I want to thank who helped me develop this combo, being Mack The Burst, Shindog, and Kevo. So it was Mack The Burst who first got me interested in the layer of this combo, when he said that the Filipino champion won matches against Revive Phoenix and Archer Hercules with it. I asked about it on the WBO, and Shindog there tested a few combos, and one of them seemed particularly interesting. So I reached out to Kevo and had him test it some more. But either way, this combo is Vise Leopard 0Bump and Yard. Now I'll go over all the parts right now. So Vise Leopard. This doesn't really make use of the gimmick in any way because it's not really something that you can do, I don't think. But mainly the reason Vise Leopard is good is because it has the centralized weight distribution. And normally that's not such a good thing because it kills stamina. And with the shape, it's not really like good at anything. I know people were using it for KO defense because that is what centralized weight distribution is good for. But it's generally bad for stamina. So it's like, oh, it's got bad weight distribution, a bad shape. It's not going to be good at anything. But this is one combo where this weight distribution will help Vise Leopard shine. Also, the weight of the layer is important. I had Kevo also test this with Twin Nemesis and Deep Chaos, and neither of them were as successful as Vise Leopard is, just because they are probably at least 6 or 7 grams lighter than Vise Leopard here. And the disc is 0Bump. This is going to be one of the only times I actually recommend using 0Bump, because 0 it's arguably the heaviest core disc. 7 or 10 may be heavier depending on what yours weigh. I think 7 is 0.3 grams lighter officially, and 10 is the same weight officially, but there's plenty of room for variations to make one heavier than the other. But compared to 7 and 10, 0 has the most centralized weight distribution, just like Vise Leopard, and Bump is just to add weight. Normally, I would not recommend Bump because it does scrape and that kills stamina compared to something like Cross. But on the driver Yard, because of this ring around it, Bump does not scrape. So it is safe to use for the extra weight here. And then the driver Yard is another important part because it's a ball tip, I think about the same size as Orbit. It has this ring around it which helps it with life after death, kind of. It'll beat Orbit, and I don't know whether it beats Revolve or not. I can test that, but it definitely loses to anything like Atomic and up, like Atomic, Eternal, Destroy, Bearing, Octa. But what makes this part important is the height. It is a little bit shorter than the other drivers. It's the same height as Eternal and Jolt, and what else is short? I think that's it. But this height's also important because when Shindog tested this at first, he was getting Yard to go about 50-50 against Archer Hercules Eternal, while Orbit and Atomic were both losing. This is because Yard is short enough to get under Eternal and destabilize it, kind of like Orbit did to Revolve way back in the day. and this also will work against revolve and bearing combos. But yeah, it is a destabilizer. Vise Leopard. Vise Leopard 0Bump yard. So I'll go over some of its matchups. They're pretty straightforward for the most part. So up first is the important matchup against Archer Hercules 7 or 10 Eternal. 7 does balance better on this combo for me. I only have 110, so it's not as good as my best 7. And of course, Vise Leopard 0Bump yard. So it's Vise Leopard by a little bit. So yeah, the strategy for this battle and all three of these matchups basically against revolve and bearing as well is to sliding shoot Vise Leopard, because the goal is to push Archer Hercules out of the center and onto this disc on Eternal, make it start processing so it will lose stamina faster and eventually get outspun. Like I said, this will also work against revolve. That was another close one, but Vise Leopard takes it. And last but not least, against Archer Hercules on bearing. There's another win for Vise Leopard. So, sorry about this. I have to cut this one a little bit short just because I am going to leave soon. But basically, this combo is, it can destabilize Archer Hercules on revolve, Eternal, and bearing. However, if you were up against like basically any kind of competitive Hell Salamander, like revolve, Eternal, Atomic, bearing, you will lose. It's basically an unwinnable matchup for Vise Leopard on yard. Actually, yard might be able to beat revolve, but I don't know. I haven't tested that. And you also lose against right spin Atomic combos, since Atomic is a lot harder to destabilize than any of the cone shaped tips. So up against like Archer Hercules or Revive Phoenix Atomic, you will also lose unless you get like a lucky KO or a lucky burst on them. But yeah, overall it's kind of a risky combo. It'll beat Right Spin, Revolve, Eternal, Burying, loses to a bunch of other stuff. If you know your opponent's going to use that, you can use this, but otherwise you're probably better off using some other combo. I just wanted to share this because it's a neat combo, and I actually used this at the tournament a few days ago, but lost to Hell Salamander on Burying. I thought he was going to go Archer Hercules Eternal or Archer Hercules Burying, but he went with Hell Salamander instead. So up next I'm going to do one more MFP combo after this, and then after that probably not enough for a while because I do not have any more footage recorded. But after that I will see you guys then.